Hi all, welcome back. In this video, we are trying to understand few important questions before we talk about Salesforce Einstein, which is like why Salesforce is rebranding itself from number one CRM to number one AI CRM, right? And the next question that we will try to understand is what's the use of AI in Salesforce? That means in CRM, what is the use of AI and why industries are struggling in terms of AI and how Salesforce is actually providing the solutions to help the business, right? So these are the two important questions that we try to understand. And lastly, we'll also discuss what is the use of Einstein into this Salesforce AI industry, right? So those are the few topics that we will discuss. So let's start. Okay, let me move to the presentation. Before we talk about AI, let's go back to the history of Salesforce. That means at year 2000, right? In year 2000, Salesforce was getting popular rapidly, right? And why it happened? Because it focused on single source of truth terminology. That means, let's say, if you have a team working on a sales cloud, you have a team working on commerce cloud, service cloud, or any other clouds. And before Salesforce, what was happening? All those teams were working on their own platform. And these platform were struggling whenever they need to exchange the information, right? That type of scenario Salesforce provided, where they use one platform, and in one platform your team can work isolately, and whenever needed you can exchange the information, you can open up the access and share the records, right? That means it maintain something called single source of truth. Your business do not need to take any headache on maintaining multiple systems. They have just one platform, they can work on this platform, all the team can collaborate there, and whenever needed they can exchange the information, right? But in this year, 2024, the situations are different. And how the situations are different, let's discuss this into the next slide, which is this. Now let's discuss about year 2024, right? Now, previously back 2000, maintaining everything in one platform was easy. Now, on an average, one company is using 1026 applications. And believe me, this number is really high in most of the companies. So, maintaining all that much data in one platform was always a challenge. But Salesforce somehow did it very smartly with the help of two things, which is your data cloud and Einstein. In this particular series, we will mainly focusing on Einsteins. In maybe some other series, we'll discuss about the data cloud. But again, let's discuss about what actually those are. So let's again come to the problem statements. We have our Salesforce in-house application. That means sales applications, service applications, right? Commerce cloud and all that. But the data which is actually present outside Salesforce are using in many other applications as well. That means your customer may have a web and mobile application which is running isolatedly. There's a ML platforms, ERP systems, point of sale, sales order. So many other applications are there. So how Salesforce deal with the situation is they says, hey, you do not need to physically import all that much data into Salesforce. But what you can do is whenever needed, we can build a connection to those services. For example, let's take this ERP. Once there is a need of ERP data, Salesforce will build a connection to the ERP system and get and extract the information from it and display it in the UI, all right, or wherever it's needed. That type of capability is actually added after introduction of Salesforce Data Cloud and Einstein. Let's move to the next slide and let's deep dive and see how that is actually possible. So with the help of data cloud, any data, let's take example of maybe ERP systems. Okay, any data which is present in ERP that will get connected in your Salesforce. And once the information is actually available to Salesforce, Salesforce will run some rule of set of rules to harmonize the data. That means, let's say if there is some bad data which is probably not as per the agreements, where there is something which is not good, all those kind of filtering that Salesforce done under the harmonization. And once this is done, the real-time data can be shown in your Salesforce platforms. What type of platform? Let's say if your representative related to the sales, they can view this data in sales applications. Similarly, service, marketing, commerce, analytics, and also platform. All those things can be viewed into those platforms. And how your sales person or any team member is interacting with the ERP systems or external data, that is actually handled under Einstein. Now, I'll give you a scenario. Let's say you have a sales member who's working on an opportunity. Okay. And the opportunity is linked to account. and Salesforce do not have the proper information related to the account, because there may be some history, there could be some other information which may be present in some other platform as well. So Salesforce sales person, what it will do is it will ask a question to Einstein and say, hey, can you please summarize the opportunities account? Then Einstein will check what is the information present in the Salesforce system. And if needed, it also make a connection to the additional systems, maybe ERP or let's say any other data lakes which are present here. And based on that, it will do some harmonization and represent the data. Okay, so this is the overall picture of how Data Cloud and Einstein is helping your sales representative to close the deal easily. Right, let's move to the next slide and deep dive this discussion. Okay, so how Data Cloud actually works, it is well described in this particular image. Let's discuss that. So if we talk about the data, so we have one layer, which is our Salesforce layer. That means this CRM, all the information related to sales service, your commerce cloud or any other cloud, wherever the data present in Salesforce physically format, that are basically present under this layer. But like I said, there may be data which is outside Salesforce. Now, there could be data present in Amazon S3 servers, there any other service providers. We have some data lakes where we have a data, for example, we have data lakes, for example, AWS Redshift, Swanflex, or some any other data lakes. Plus, we have also some additional application who are hosting the data, maybe some mobile applications, API integration that is happening with with those applications, or some legacy application as well, for example, right? So all the data which is present in Salesforce or outside Salesforce will be your data system. Now, once we know what are the data present into those systems, we need to establish the connection, right? So the next thing that Data Cloud will do, it will establish the connection. Okay, so once the data connection is established, we will run some model on the top of that data. We'll basically harmonize that. We'll see what are the type of model that we can do, where the data actually is present, how to do the data mapping, identify the resolutions, and do some data graphing. All those things Salesforce will do on its own, or you can also provide your own way to do this. So that is also possible options. Like if you have your own data model, you can ask Salesforce, hey, this is my data model, use this data model. Or at this layer, Salesforce also provide you some default data models that you can use. Once this is done, now the definition of single source of truth is actually fulfilled. Why? Because at this layer, let's say she's a sales representative, right? So for her, it's not actually matters whether the information that she's looking, whether it is coming from internal Salesforce or it is coming from outside Salesforce, right? Because she's just working on opportunity. She wanted to know the history or the summarization of the account that are tagged to the opportunity, right? So she actually doesn't care whether data is coming from CRM, whether it's data coming from ERP or any other application. So the definition of single source of truth is actually can be justified in this situation as well, right? So once the data is ready, once the data modeling is actually rephrase the data, now this is the time to show this information. So what are the place where we can show? We have many places actually. We can do this to calculated insights. We have segmentations, automations, we have reporting. So we have a Tableau who will do this analysis. So this is also possible. Okay. And similarly, we have something which is in Einstein, which is your prompt builder and Copilot. We have a detailed session on these two topics, but yeah. So Einstein basically help to represent or show this data to sales representative, right? So sales representative can ask question to Einstein by, like I said, they can just give me the summary of this particular opportunity. They can also write some emails based on the requirement. They can also write the summary of the entire records. So those things we can do easily with the help of Einstein. And now how the data Einstein is pulling, how it is working in the, whether it is taking the data from Salesforce, whether it is taking data from outside Salesforce, that we have a control on. Okay, as a developer, as an admin, we can tell Einstein, hey, if this question is asked or this type of question is asked, take the data from here, or take the data from outside Salesforce. And how this connection and everything is established, we'll discuss under this classes. All right. So I hope now you will get an idea why Salesforce is investing that much into the AI technologies and what actually Salesforce data and what the meaning of Salesforce in short, right? In the upcoming lectures, we'll see what are the topics in Einstein specifically we are going to cover into this lectures. All right. So that is it in this video. Stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.